Long ago, in the realm between heaven and earth, there was a magical jade stone that had been left behind when the goddess of creation repaired the sky. The stone felt lonely and longed to live among humans, to experience love, joy, and sorrow. Moved by its wish, the goddess allowed it to descend to the mortal world, reborn as a boy named Jia Baoyu, born into the powerful Jia family, a clan of immense wealth, beauty, and culture. Around him, many lives would rise and fall like petals in the wind, and the dream would become a mirror of life itself. The Jia family lived in two grand mansions in the capital, the Ronghua House and the Ninghua House. Their gardens stretched for miles, with bridges, ponds, and jeweled pavilions. At the head of this noble household was grandmother Jia, wise and gentle, who ruled the family with love and tradition. Baoyu, her beloved grandson, was born with a piece of magical jade in his mouth, the same stone from heaven. From his earliest days, he showed a tender heart and a rebellious spirit. He loved poetry, beauty, and women's company more than study or fame. The family hoped he would bring glory through scholarship, but Baoyu's heart belonged to softer things, moonlight on petals, laughter in the garden, the sound of music and verse. Among the many young women in the Jia household were two who shaped Baoyu's heart and fate. Lin Daiyu, a frail and poetic girl, had come to live with the Jias after her mother's death. She was proud, sensitive, and filled with melancholy beauty, like a falling flower. From the moment Baoyu met her, something eternal bound them. He felt as if he had known her for lifetimes. But there was another, Xue Baochai, graceful and kind, born to wealth and virtue. She was everything society admired, calm, clever, and balanced. Where Daiyu was fire, Baochai was water. Baoyu loved Daiyu with passion, but everyone else, especially the elders, preferred Baochai. They saw her as the perfect match for him, the union that could bring honor to the family. Thus began a silent battle between love and duty. As the family prepared for a royal visit, they built a magnificent garden called the Grand View Garden, a paradise of flowers, streams, and poetry. The young cousins, including Baoyu, Daiyu, and Baochai, moved into it, their own world away from adult troubles. The days in the garden were filled with verses, laughter, and secret tears. The girls composed poetry under willow trees, played music in moonlit pavilions, and embroidered dreams into silk. Baoyu and Daiyu's bond deepened, they shared poems, thoughts, and unspoken feelings. But Daiyu's jealousy and delicate health often caused sorrow. Every time she saw Baochai near Baoyu, her heart trembled between love and pride. Baoyu tried to comfort her, but fate was already weaving its tragic pattern. While the young ones dreamed in the garden, the adults faced darker storms. The Jia family's fortune had begun to rot beneath its golden surface. Corruption, pride, and politics eroded their once glorious name. Grandmother Jia's sons quarreled over wealth and position. Servants grew deceitful, and debts piled like autumn leaves. Still, life in the garden went on, glowing briefly before the inevitable fall, like lanterns before dawn. Baoyu's jade, the symbol of his spiritual nature, began to lose its glow. He grew restless and confused, torn between earthly love and spiritual awakening. Meanwhile, Daiyu's illness worsened. Night after night, she wept alone by her window, burning her poems in secret. She knew her life was fading, and that her love might never be fulfilled. Unbeknownst to Baoyu, the elders arranged his marriage, not to Daiyu, but to Baochai. Mephistopheles-like family schemers switched the bridal veils to deceive him. On the wedding night, Baoyu lifted the veil expecting to see his beloved Daiyu, but found Baochai smiling gently before him. At that very moment, far away, Daiyu died, her tears falling with the last of the spring flowers. When the news reached Baoyu, he fell into madness. His heart shattered like his jade. After Daiyu's death, misfortune consumed the Jia family. The government investigated their finances, their property was seized, their titles stripped. The once splendid mansions became silent ruins. Grandmother Jia passed away, and the family scattered. Servants fled, treasures were sold, and the echo of music in the garden turned to dust. Baoyu, now hollow and wandering, began to see through the illusions of life. Wealth, love, ambition, all seemed like a dream. He remembered Daiyu's last words, her faith that beyond the world's sorrow lay peace. Years later, Bao Chai searched for her husband, who had vanished without a word. One night, she heard a monk chanting outside. It was Baoyu, now a wandering ascetic, dressed in robes, his jade gone, his eyes filled with calm sorrow. He bowed before her, but said nothing. He had renounced the world to seek enlightenment, to free himself from the endless cycle of desire and loss. As dawn broke, he walked into the mist with the monk, leaving behind the ruins of his family and the dream that had bound him. At the end of all things, a poet dreamed of the story, the rise and fall of the Jia family, the loves and tears of Baoyu, Daiyu, and Bao Chai, and wrote it into a red-covered book. He realized that life itself was like that dream, brilliant, fleeting, and filled with longing. The jade that had fallen from heaven had learned its lesson, that beauty and sorrow are inseparable, that love is both a blessing and a chain, and that only by awakening from illusion can one find peace.